Right. So this is what generally we cover as far as the healthcare BA is concerned, because there are two things as I told you. One is BA role, second is a healthcare knowledge. So first
Correct.
you need to start with introduction. This is all something I have explained you some time back. Again, I'm repeating by showing the screen to you. Okay. So next we need to know about the difference between product companies, project companies, importance of healthcare BA, how it is different from healthcare BA to regular BA, and what kind of skills, what are the different tools that this is all something based off of basics of BA. Okay. Next, healthcare, even though you are a healthcare BA, end of the day, we are developing a technical solution, application, okay, solution
Correct.
as a team, as a solution provider. So
Correct.
you must be having knowledge over the software development lifecycle process that you must be good with. We have different models, something like waterfall model we have V model, we have agile. Nowadays we are using agile. As a BA, we prepare user stories, product backlog, all that. This is also part of healthcare BA training. Next, knowledge areas, anyway, as I told you, because knowledge areas are common, because how to create a project plan, because there are different knowledge areas, because how you try to understand the stakeholders, how to identify the stakeholders, when you want to interact with stakeholders and all, what kind of techniques do you follow, and how you are
Correct.
prioritizing it, how you are managing it, and how the changes, if there are any changes happens and all, how you are managing the changes. This is all part of knowledge areas as a BA you will be doing. So that you must be knowing about how to create a project plan. If there are any changes happens in between of the project and all, how this can be done. And how you need to manage your stakeholders, because it can be a business owner, it can be a project sponsor, it can be a technical team and all. We need to identify what, see, this is, there are two things. One is expectation, second is reality.
Correct.
Expectation, what customer expects, reality, what we develop. So you need to have a distinction between these two things. Expectation versus reality is something our focus must be. That's where generally the stakeholder analysis, everything comes. Further, there are different techniques, of course, we use something like raci matrix and all. Prior to that, if you want to identify stakeholders and all, there is something called power and interest grid we use for to identify. After that, raci matrix will be used for techniques for stakeholders, etc. Next, what are the different type of requirement that we have to do it. So this is all practical part, Suru. This is all practical part. This is nothing to do with theory, because I'll give you a case study to you. I'll give you a case study or a project, whatever the name you can call. So
Mhm.
on that you have to work on. I'll give a case study to you. I'll give you the assignments on day-to-day basis, so that
Mhm.
we have to work on the case study, and you need to write. I will guide you. You have to write it, not me to write. Okay.
Correct.
So if you write, so for example, I'll tell you in a simple way. For example, I told you what business objective is all about. Okay.
Mhm.
So what you
Mhm.
want to know, you must be knowing about how to define the business objective, how to understand, how to identify. Unless
Mhm.
until if you don't work on the case study, you don't get that.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Objective anyway, based on my explanation, you can understand what is meant by objective means. But
Correct.
when will you be knowing this? When you try to understand the case study, then you have to. Because sometimes
Correct.
when we go the real environment, sometimes we get the information may not be sufficient for us to do the projects. Sometimes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes customer, what customer expects, what they deliver might be different due to
Correct.
ignorance, not by intention. I'm saying this. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is
Mhm.
all practical. So my business analyst healthcare BA training is completely scenario based. There is no one
Correct.
example I'll give for one case study. Because if I
Correct.
give different examples, it leads to confusion. Let us be in a disciplined manner where I'll give one project or a case study so that you have to work on that. That's it. That's how it works.
Correct.
So this is all practical understanding, whatever I was highlighted over here, etc. Next, you need to translate the requirements into visualized format, because you see, everything cannot be explained in a diagram format. If I want to explain something, visual representation is important. So for
Mhm.
that, we use UML, object-oriented model, right? So UML use case diagrams, sequence diagrams we prepare. That you must be knowing. Next, when you interact with the technical team, you must be understanding about some technical terminologies and all, so that you must be knowing about the importance of database and how is it being a business analyst, you will be involved in it. And you must be knowing about the software testing life cycle, because software testing life cycle, there are different stages we have in testing life cycle. Especially from the manual testing point of view, I'm saying this because automation testing, we don't get into that. As a BA, we don't get into automation testing, but manual testing is something which we do. The software testing life cycle you must be aware of. Final phase of it. Okay. So software testing life cycle you will be learning. Next, this is onwards from healthcare domain topics, right? So introduction about healthcare reformations and mandates, right? What are the different regulations and compliances mandates that we follow in healthcare? We must be knowing about some terminologies are important important to you because different jargons and terminologies you need to use something like Medicare, Medicaid, claim management, claim adjudication, claim settlements, benefit enrollments, okay, eligibility criteria, right? So EDIs, right? So FIPA codes, ANSI X12 formats. These kind of terminologies and jargons are essentially important for you to get into the next level. That's what something which normally we discuss here. This is all HIPAA law terminologies, all that. Next, we talk about the integration points because more of nowadays focus is more on the integration side. Integration means you are integrating from old legacy systems to the new application, and we are integrating with some other applications and all. So you must be knowing about different integration points of healthcare transaction that you must be aware of how the healthcare system works. What are the different health insurance plans do we have? Right? So at the same time, you must be knowing about the management system like processing, adjudication, all that. Next, sometime back you have asked me, right? EDAs you have asked me. So EDA transactions and what are the different codes we have? Because EDA 835, 837, 270, 271. Okay, there are different codes are there. So that we are going to discuss. Next, revenue cycle management, care management, and case management. This is generally we cover as far as the healthcare BA is concerned.
Okay.
From my side, this is what something which I teach.
Okay. So also do you cover ICD one?